And welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on Dolynny TV. A few days off, a few days to collect myself and see where the Oilers headed themselves. And here we are following a 6-3 loss to the New Jersey Devils, in which, honestly, if you're a betting man, if you're a common sense man, if you're a common sense anybody, if you know what's good for you, the Oilers' playoff lives are pretty much done at this point, right? Obviously, an incredible 10-2 run may somehow factor and do something good for us, and we may just squeak. That's fine. I'm not ruling that out, okay? But more importantly is the fact that this time of the year, in crunch time, with the talent we have, the Oilers are still somehow learning that they have to be a better team. And the best way to absolutely put it was, I was listening to CBC Calgary, and I mean, okay, like, guys, this is the polar opposite coverage of CBC Edmonton, any Edmonton-led coverage. This is CBC Calgary, their sports guy, their host, talking sports at 7:30 in the morning following an Oilers loss. Now, you expect a lot of, oh man, that's good, that's great, screw the Oilers, right? Like, as an Oilers fan up in Calgary, I'm sure, or up in Edmonton, that's what you'd expect. You 99% didn't hear what they said on CBC Calgary this morning, and it is simple as this, guys. Is a very disappointing line to hear almost, because that's the hard part, is what New Jersey doesn't have in talent, they make up in effort. And then all of a sudden they played a clip from McDavid, not 20 seconds later, great butting together of ideas. McDavid saying they didn't go out there and try hard enough. It wasn't a great game. They didn't pedal to the metal kind of deal, right? So, how hard as an Oilers fan that was to hear. Because, okay, let's go back to that New Jersey Devils comment. What the New Jersey Devils don't have in talent, obviously, they've got, what, 10 guys in last night's lineup on entry-level contracts. Then you've got the Oilers comparison with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Kassian on a hot streak. You've got Darnell Nurse, you've got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Chiasson's got 20 goals for crying out loud. Mikko Koskinen's an emerging beast. Like, okay, all right, Oscar Klefbom was well in there. Like, you know what? For an Oilers team, that's almost as good a talent as you can possibly get. And Draisaitl and McDavid, that's as good as talent as you can get across the NHL. Somehow our effort level plus our talent is overall, after last night's loss, lower than the New Jersey Devils, who have 10 guys in that lineup on entry-level contracts. You want to tell me how, on any level-headed playing field, that makes sense? Well, that's exactly, it doesn't. But that in itself is this Oilers season. This Oilers season has been absolutely plagued by so much being and going against common thought, right? This Oilers team coming out of the gate, yes, we knew our weaknesses. It was on some kids to step up and get it done. And guys, thing is, there we go. Right there, we're going against ourselves. Right off the hop. Right off the hop this season, this Oilers team was going against itself. Because after 12 years of doing the same piss-poor technique, rush the kids, make the kids play big minutes, we somehow didn't learn that that's not what we should do going into camp. Now, obviously right there, you bring up the question, is that due to the guys in the roster not getting it done? Is it Peter Chiarelli? Is it the coaching staff? Well, we've turned over pretty much all three of those, and somehow here we are in March in what was, up until last night, a very deep playoff hunt, and we're learning this lesson again in mid-March. How? How can you be getting humbled like this again after coming through everything so many times over this year, coming into the start of the year not learning the lesson? You've learned it 3, 4, 5 times this year, and here you are relearning the lesson that no matter who's the coach, who's the GM, who is the roster, who is the ownership, no matter who it is, you've got to learn the lesson that effort is more than talent. 100%. I don't care. You could have 50 Connor McDavids on your team. I mean, you stack the bench, literally have them sitting on each other's lap, for crying out loud. You multiply the dude. Clone him 50 times. But if he and his clones don't go out there and try, it just ain't going to work. It ain't going to work at all. And when you have your captain going out there after a 6-3 embarrassment of a loss to the New Jersey Devils and saying, well, we just didn't try enough and they took advantage. Well, it's mid-friggin' March. How are we just learning that now? Like, seriously, okay, yeah, okay, that's happened 30 times this year. Why? Why did it happen again? How did it happen again? And to me, the real only point in cause you can sit here and say is it's the way this season's gone. It's clearly just the way this season's gone. This team grabs a brain, plays decent, plays well, goes on a run. They do the right things the right way at the right times for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. And man, all of a sudden, boom, our heads are exploding. We're there. We're going to be there. At the end of the year, we're getting in. And then you have this setback, come back to reality, and it just friggin' is a knife to the heart, for crying out loud, because you know, we've seen it. We've seen it 3 times this year. This Oilers team can and is capable of getting the job done, yet somehow we end up with games like last night. And yes, okay, you know what? The whole game wasn't bad. The whole, no. But the areas of which the game broke down for the Oilers are the areas of which have been concern all year, and somehow we ended up losing. Go friggin' figure. So that's the question, right? Obviously, the one play is Adam Larsson drifting through the slot on the failed clear on the Devils power play that led to the goal. Well, my goodness. As defensemen under Ken Hitchcock, how can you not know to have both eyes going about 270? Seriously, head, swivel, 270 of the scope should be covered at all times if you're a defenseman on the ice for Ken Hitchcock. How does Adam Larsson let that go? And there you go. Right there, guys. Bang. Look at who I'm talking about again. Adam Larsson, who I'm always seeming to crap on when I was doing the live streams or when I was doing the game breakdowns every day. Like, see, it makes sense, right? It's the same guys doing the same things all year in the wrong time to do it. And here we are finding ourselves still in the crappy situation to try and make the playoffs. So, where do you go? What do you do? How do you change this? I don't understand how you can change this when you haven't changed it after 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, 9 times this year. Well, it's as simple as this. You actually have a team to look at and say, hey, wait a minute, if they can do it, why can't we? And that's the New Jersey Devils. Going back to the CBC Calgary quote, bang, boys. What they lack in talent, they make up for in effort. Simple as that. Now, oh man, magic words coming about. Wish I could do them on my screen. Unfortunately, don't have my editing software anymore. But besides the point, we sit here and realize this Oilers team, aside from Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, does not look sexy on paper, does not look good at any point of any season on any team. But if the Devils, with scraps, chunks, and heaps of the AHL team, can do it with what they're doing it with against a team that has Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, why can we not do it against them, against anybody, B? Seriously, it is absolutely mind-numbing to think that the Oilers are still learning this lesson in mid-March, and this time it comes against a team like that in the Devils that embarrasses you to the point that you have to ask these questions, but the answer's already been given to you 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, 9 times this year. Guys, simple as that. This Devils game gave you the Oilers season in a nutshell. And somehow, we're still in it. And that's the nutshell even bigger. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I will catch you guys, as always, in the next one.